Hi, I'm Roel from the Commission for Children and Young People. This is a brief overview of Standard 11. I encourage you to also look at the Commission's online resources for more information and in-depth guidance. If you have a co-regulator, please also refer to their guidance on how to comply with this standard. Under Standard 11, your organisation must demonstrate that policies and procedures document how the organisation is safe for children and young people. Clear policies and procedures help everyone to know what should happen and know what they should do. When policies and procedures are not written down and available, your staff, volunteers, children and families are less likely to understand your organisation's expectations regarding child safety. To comply with this standard, your organisation must meet the following 5 minimum requirements. Minimum requirement 11.1. Policies and procedures address all child safe standards. All 11 child safe standards work together as a system to promote well-being and protect children from harm and abuse. When your organisation's leaders, staff and volunteers have clear policies and procedures to guide them on what's expected under the standards, a strong foundation is created to benefit children's safety. Minimum requirement 11.2. Policies and procedures are documented and easy to understand. Long, complex policies and procedures that stay on the shelf and are not used are not helpful. Neither are out-of-date documents not trusted by staff and volunteers as presenting your organisation's current position. When writing policies and procedures, you need to make sure they are easy to access and understand. This means understanding your audience, including people from language-diverse backgrounds and people with disability, and of course, children. Consider developing a child-friendly version of key documents that relate to child safety and reporting concerns. Minimum requirement 11.3. Best practice models and stakeholder consultation informs the development of policies and procedures. Organisations do not need to start the implementation of the child safe standards from scratch. Most child safety matters have been considered before by experts, academics, peak bodies and other organisations, and you can use their views to help you. Just remember that best practice in child safety for your organisation is what works for your unique circumstances. What works for one organisation may not work for you. Check that resources you access are up to date and reflect any new legislation, and then tailor them to your particular setting, activities and risks. Developing your organisation's child safety policies and procedures must be done in consultation with your organisation's community. This includes staff, volunteers, children and their families and communities. Asking for different views and insights will help to ensure a policy is effective and covers everyone's different needs. Standards 3 and 4 have some tips and ideas on consulting with children, their families, carers and community. Minimum requirement 11.4. Leaders champion and model compliance with policies and procedures. Leaders play an important role in creating a culture where children's safety and well-being is at the heart of the organisation and the way it operates. Leaders need to understand and champion the organisation's child safety policies and procedures and set expectations for others in the organisation. Championing and modelling compliance means leaders take a proactive, outspoken approach on child safety and well-being. Leaders walk the talk by prioritising children's well-being and safety in everything they do and in the decisions that they make. Minimum requirement 11.5. Staff and volunteers understand and implement policies and procedures. It is vital staff and volunteers are able to follow the policies and procedures your organisation prepares and that you check that they have been implemented. And remember that action should be taken on breaches by staff and volunteers of child safe policies. What makes a document easy for children and young people to understand?
I think it comes down to the language that is used, making sure that it's, children and young people friendly and accessible and understandable to them, but also making sure that it's not super content heavy, that the language, is just easily broken down.
How can you tell whether people in organisations follow policies and procedures about child safety?
I think it is very obvious when you actually enter an organisation whether it's implemented properly through just the way the organisation's running and how it's functioning, but also, if there are incidents that occur, how quickly these things are rectified, if they're taking important steps towards, making sure that things are in place and followed through with. My challenge to organisations is how can you enable children and young people to be empowered through the policies and documentations within your organisation? And how can you ensure that they're actually accessible for children and young people?
Thank you for watching this video on Victoria's Child Safe Standards. We hope that you found it useful and now have a better understanding of the standards and the role that you and your organisation have in keeping children safe while they are in your care. The Commission and other regulators have resources to assist your work to build a child-safe organisation. Check relevant websites and register for Commission updates via our website.